country known for honor, discipline, silence. Bullet trains that arrive to the second. Businessmen who bow. Streets so clean they almost look unreal. But beneath that perfection, beneath the neon skyline of Tokyo, beneath the quiet alleyways of Kobe, there once existed an empire that operated in plain sight. Not hiding in shadows, not whispering in darkness, but running offices, printing business cards, attending public festivals. An empire of crime so deeply embedded in society that for decades it was almost normalized. They called themselves families. The world called them the Yakuza. And at their peak, they were not just criminals, they were power brokers, kingmakers, shadow governments. This is the story of how they rose from outcasts to dominate an entire underworld. The word Yakuza comes from a losing hand in a traditional card game, 8, 9, 3. A worthless combination, useless. That was how society saw them. And from that insult, they built an identity. In the 1600s, during Japan's Edo period, society was rigid. Samurai stood at the top, farmers and merchants below. And then there were those who didn't belong anywhere. The gamblers, the street peddlers, the men without masters. These outcasts began forming organized groups, and what started as survival slowly transformed into something far more powerful. And this was only the beginning. The Bakuto ran illegal gambling houses. They attracted debt, desperation, and violence. But they also created structure. Leaders protected their members. Loyalty mattered. The Tekia controlled festival markets. They negotiated territories, managed disputes, enforced order. Over generations, these groups formed alliances, hierarchies emerged, rituals developed. They did not see themselves as random criminals. They saw themselves as a brotherhood, a family. The structure was simple. Oyabun, the father, Kobun, the child. Once initiated, loyalty was permanent. Betrayal was unthinkable. To prove devotion, they shared sake in ceremony. And when mistakes were made, there was yubitsume, the cutting of part of a finger, a symbol of apology, a symbol of obedience. Pain meant loyalty. By the early 20th century, these groups expanded beyond gambling. They controlled docks, labor unions, entertainment districts, protection rackets. Then came World War II. Japan fell into devastation. Cities destroyed, economy collapsed. Chaos creates opportunity. Black markets exploded overnight, and the Yakuza stepped forward. They controlled goods, settled disputes, organized underground economies. Where the government was weak, they became strong. And one group would rise above them all. The Yamaguchi-gumi. Founded in 1915, in Kobe, the Yamaguchi-gumi started small, but under leaders like Kazuo Taoka, it transformed into Japan's most powerful crime syndicate. Taoka was strategic, patient, ruthless in business decisions. Under his leadership, the organization expanded nationwide, absorbing smaller gangs, dominating territories, entering construction, shipping, nightlife, and corporate influence. By the 1960s, they were unstoppable. Membership grew into the tens of thousands. And here is what shocked many people. They operated openly. Their headquarters had signs. Their leaders gave interviews. They attended public events. But beneath that formal appearance were darker realities. Extortion, corporate blackmail, loan sharking, illegal gambling. In the 1980s, Japan entered its economic boom. Property prices skyrocketed. Money flooded the market. The Yakuza invested heavily in real estate and stocks. Some groups controlled enormous wealth. They were no longer just gangsters. They were financial players. But wealth breeds arrogance, and arrogance breeds conflict. In 1985, after a major leader's death, the Yamaguchi-gumi fractured over a succession dispute. A rival faction broke away. What followed became known as the Yama-Ichi conflict. Public violence shocked citizens. Shootings, retaliations, tension in major cities. Japan, known for safety, suddenly witnessed organized gang warfare. The illusion of quiet control shattered. In 1992, the government passed the anti-Boryokudan law. For the first time, Yakuza groups were officially designated as violent organizations. Banks refused service, businesses cut ties, police surveillance intensified, financial pressure mounted, membership began declining. From over 80,000 members, numbers slowly fell year after year. Society was changing. Younger generations no longer saw prestige in lifelong criminal loyalty. The old image was fading. And then, something even more unexpected happened. The empire began collapsing from within. Internal divisions deepened. In 2015, the Yamaguchi-gumi split again into rival factions. The largest syndicate in Japan fractured. Recruitment dropped dramatically. Offices closed. Public signage disappeared. Today, official membership is at its lowest in modern history. The once feared image of heavily tattooed enforcers walking boldly through nightlife districts is fading. But disappearance does not mean extinction. Experts believe some former members moved into quieter forms of crime: cyber fraud, financial scams, international networks, less visible, less theatrical, more modern. The Yakuza did not rise simply because they were violent. They rose because society allowed space for them to operate. And when that space disappeared, so did their dominance. But history teaches something dangerous. When one organized structure falls, another can rise. Maybe not with tattoos, maybe not with public offices, but organized, strategic, patient, waiting. Because empires built in the shadows rarely vanish completely.